This guy's just fucking droning on. Okay, yes. Alright, good. Yeah. We are gonna get to someone who actually knows how to provide news. Okay, false start. False start. We're gonna go with our news waifu, Rev. Rev is gonna be concise. He's not gonna spend 50 fucking hours reading off goddamn tweets. Let's go with Rev. I didn't realize Rev put out a video, so I figured he would put out a video, Rev, and I just didn't know if he put it out yet. We're gonna go with Rev. Rev, make it make sense, please.
Hey, what's up, guys? Rev here. So it's never been more over. It is official. Gura is graduating from Hololive. This was a long time coming, but something that millions of people are reacting to right now. And if you're a longtime viewer of the channel and a VTuber fan, you know I've covered her many times over the years, and you were definitely expecting this video today after the announcement yesterday. And if you're not a VTuber fan, I highly encourage that you watch this video to understand why this is such a big deal right now. So as you can see, this is Gura, a VTuber who's been with the VTuber agency Hololive for about 4.5 years now. However, over the past 2 years or so, she's had several breaks, and there's been times where months have passed between her streams. However, every time she would go live again, she would receive an enormous amount of supports. However, people were anticipating that at some point she would be graduating, which means retiring from the agency, and a lot of rumors started swirling about a week ago when she posted this on her past life account, Senzawa. This is a blue fish referring to her blue shark VTuber model that she uses at Hololive. Now, this is a past life account. If you don't know what that is, it is your former account that you had before you joined the agency, and typically once you're in the agency, you no longer tweet on the past life account, or at least you do very sparingly. And this being tweeted only a few days ago on her alt account, given the recent breaks she's had, people had a feeling this might signal a graduation. Now, you might recognize Senzawa. It's a huge account with only 25 videos, but 1.2 million subs. Many of her videos and her meme
last
songs
posted
and stuff like
5 years ago.
Viral. But over the course of her time at Hololive, she has tweeted twice on this account. Back in 2022, she said, "uh-oh," which caused millions of people to speculate she was graduating back then. However, then on April 9th of this year, we had this.
Is that when Rev made the prediction when she tweeted back in October? No. Did Rev make a prediction back in 2022? Because I wasn't in the space. Like, did we ever know? And, Valiant Hero, thank you for the follow. And yes, I know, I forgot. Did this ever, come about of anything? Where the from, like, almost 3 years ago? Like, did something happen back in 2022? I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea why. Sentence? What? Sentence? What? What are you talking about, Gore? Like, after she posted uh-oh, did anything come about from that back in 2022? Or even the beginning of 2023? Like, was there any kind of news or, anything of that nature back when she posted this uh-oh in 2022? Okay. So at that point, people just, like, speculating with the uh-oh. Okay, that's fine. That's what I was curious about.
Blue fish. And as it turns out, all the doom posting about that were correct. She had this announcement saying, "I have to talk to you about something tonight," with a link to a live stream where she would announce her official upcoming graduation from Hololive.
Thank you for your compassion, your creativity, and your dedication to me. Thank you for waiting for me. Thank you for waiting for me to return when the outside world became too much. Let's have as much fun as we can together during these last 2 weeks. Please share your kindness and patience with everyone. And while my time here may be coming to an end, I will cherish the memories that we've made together forever. I have one final project to share with you, and I can't wait for you to see it. I'm feeling really optimistic for the future, and I hope you are too. Thank you, everyone, for letting me be your little shark.
Yep, that was a tough one, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, a lot of people are quite upset.
I don't think she sounded sick. It sounded like she was trying to hold back tears. That sounded far more like she was trying not to cry. She was trying to hold back the tears. That was emotion, not tiredness. Yeah. I mean, you can tell how much it's affecting her. And the one thing that concerns me is the fact that she's talking like this. Because if she leaves Hololive and goes back to being independent and goes back to her old life, her old model, her old persona, like that, I would have to imagine all of the fans are going to follow her. Because they weren't watching, they were tuning in to Gura because she was Gura, the shark girl. They were tuning in because of her, because of the personality that came out from behind the screen. And so I have to imagine all of those fans are, if she's going to take up her old life account, I have to imagine all of those fans are going to follow her back to that old life. So while I guess I'm not feeling as emotional about this because I'm looking at it logically. That she's leaving Hololive, true, but she has her old account that she can immediately activate. And it is a fucking guarantee that the moment she goes live as Senzawa, everyone is going to be there. Absolutely everyone is going to be there, and she's going to have all of her fans back again. And she'll be able to regrow her old channel easily. Very easily. Again, just like what Doki Bird did. Doki Bird, I can't remember who Doki Bird was with. Was she with VShojo? Wait, who was Doki with? Ninja, yeah, that's right. She was with Ninja Sanji, that's right. Yeah, so when Doki left Ninja Sanji and reclaimed her Doki Bird, she's like instantaneously her popularity was back up to where it once was. Everybody who knew her from when she was with Miji Sanji was immediately there when she reemerged again as her old persona Doki Bird. And Mouse, I would suspect, yes, that she probably did get even bigger. And I have to imagine that with Kura, if she does go back to her old account, I imagine it's going to be the same. Absolutely, I imagine it's going to be the same. She's going to have to start over in some respects because there's going to be some IPs that she will not be able to bring with her, like some of her music. My guess, unfortunately, is Hololive probably has the rights to a lot of her music, which is really unfortunate. But, she will be able to start over again if that's what she plans to do. And I think that is the key, is she going to go back to her old account? Or is she in a place where she's just like, I don't want to stream anymore? Therein lies the question. I think it's probably what everyone is asking is she going to continue streaming with her old account once she leaves Hololive? Or is she just done and doesn't want to do it anymore? That's the big question.
but also happy to congratulate her on such a long career. But as you can see, the attention on this short 8-minute stream is immense. It's #1 on trending right now with over 2 million views despite only being streamed 14 hours ago. This was a very, very big moment in VTubing history, but like I said, something that people saw coming for quite some time now. And just to give you like a taste of her influence, this was the pre-stream chat before people even knew she was graduating Hololive. That is memberships going off. It's literally breaking the chat. It's going so fast. That's the influence she has. So you're probably wondering why 200,000+.
Can I just point out? I just want to point out. Unfortunately, all these people that are throwing memberships to Gura for this live chat on YouTube, Gura's not going to see any of this. Okay? This is the Gura YouTube, which Hololive owns. All of this membership money that these millions of people were throwing at this channel, none of it goes to Gura. Or if any does, it's a small percentage will go to Gura. And the lion's share of this is going to Hololive. And I would wager none of the people doing this considered that before they just started throwing money into memberships during this, during this goodbye stream. This goodbye stream on YouTube. Gura's not going to see even, Gura might see like 5% of this. And none of them thought about that. That angers me, honestly. That honestly angers me. She didn't graduate yet, Revan, but they are going to be taking the lion's share of the money they receive from these memberships. Gura will probably get like 5 or 10% of it. So that kind of, but she still gets paid, but it's not, but she still gets paid. I'm not saying that she doesn't get paid, but her percentage of this is going to be small.
She has. So you're probably wondering why 200,000+ concurrent people would be watching this VTuber, especially if you're not familiar with VTubers. Well, let me explain just how impactful Gura has been over the years. Right off the bat, she is the most subscribed to VTuber in the world, especially among English VTubers. It's not even close. She is someone who was a part of the first English generation of Hololive called Holomyth. Hololive at the time was a huge Japanese VTuber agency, and Holomyth was their first attempt to bring that stuff over to the English-speaking scene. And everyone in that first generation has had a massive impact on VTubing in the West. I would argue they had the biggest influence over anyone else in terms of...
And aren't they all gone now? Wasn't Gura the last of the original 5? I'm pretty sure I saw something like Watson and Amelia might have left. Mori is still there? Okay, Mori's still there. I thought Watson and Amelia had left. I thought. Am I incorrect on that? I'm not... Okay. Okay. So there are 3 there. Okay.
Getting people interested in VTubers or wanting to be VTubers. And all of them are great examples of what a VTuber should be all about. They brought a lot of the great components of idol culture over from Japan. They brought it over here. All of these people are drama-free. They provide great entertainment. They're extremely talented, whether it's as streamers or musicians or what have you.
Okay, so Amelia is gone, Jack.
But
That's what I thought.
Gura had the biggest impact of all of them. She instantly went viral from day one. She helped propel that group and VTubers in general into the West. And it began with this first stream right here titled Shark. And as you can see, it has nearly 6 million views on the VOD. But
Wow.
4 years ago, that is absolutely an insane number. And this stream, ironically enough, would begin very awkwardly with something that would become a meme all the way through her
Oh.
graduation.
Huh? Scuff? Scuff. VTuber. Scuff. They go hand in hand.
That was just one of many different memorable moments that would signify her career. In fact, she would get so popular, she wouldn't just reach niche areas of VTubing and streaming. She would literally go mainstream. Last
There we
year,
go.
Gura and several other Hololive members literally sang "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" at a Dodgers game. Okay, that's how mainstream they got. In fact, this got so much attention that a lot of people were checking out VTubers for the first time. And also the Dodgers would go on to win the World Series in 2024. No coincidences, ladies and gentlemen.
It was.
But anyways,
It was adorable that
she's
she
lived
did
an
that.
incredibly drama-free career. The only drama that's ever existed over her time was people attacking her. Mainly jealous weirdos like Brittany Venti and sleep easy at night knowing that Gura outlived Brittany Venti. That is an accomplishment. But over the years, because of how successful she is and just really being without controversy, people really try to force it over and over and over again. And if you think I talk a lot about Sweet Baby Inc. or Ubisoft, which I do, the only topic I have probably discussed more than stuff like that or anything else on this channel is Gura. I mean, she's tailor-made. I enjoy her content. I like speaking positively about her. But also, she's been in some of the most ridiculous and forced controversies ever, which she has almost never even acknowledged in any way, shape, or form. She has just continued on and made great content. A great example of what this type of VTuber and their aspirations should be all about. Now, of course...
And, I mean, and honestly, like, when it comes to any, like, controversies, that's the way to go. Because you know what? Anytime someone posts a quote-unquote controversy, especially when you're in the VTubing space, if someone, like, posts a controversy about, oh, your model is either over-sexualized, or you're a lolly, which means you're catering to PDFs, or some other fucking bullshit like that, the best response you can have is barely or not even acknowledge it. That is the best response you can ever have. Someone's like, someone wants to say, oh, Gura is like, she's a lolly and she's like doing whatever to promote PDFness or whatever fucking brain dead take someone likes to have on it. Either literally do the One Punch Man meme of just go, okay, and move on, or don't even acknowledge it in the first place. Because acknowledging it or actually like fighting back against it is indicating to people that it's affecting you. Whereas if you just kind of go, oh no, moving on. They have nothing to do, because the people that make these the people that come up with these conspiracies or these quote unquote controversies, they're looking for the subject matter to respond or reciprocate in some way to try and basically further inflame the bullshit controversy that is a nothing burger in the first place. And typically it's for clout or for clicks. And when you don't respond to it, when you just kind of go, okay, and that's it and move on, it dies instantly. Because one, there was nothing there to begin with, and two, the internet has the attention span of a toddler. Okay? If you don't fan the flames of a quote-unquote controversy, it is literally forgotten about in a day or two. And they move on to the next thing. That's how the internet works now. If there's not a continual escalation, it's forgotten about. And at the very most, it'll last for like 2 weeks, and then nobody's even gonna remember it happened. That's just how this shit works. So if you don't even acknowledge it, it's gonna go absolutely nowhere. And from what Rev is saying, that's what Gura did. She was just like, okay, and moved on. And look what that did. It basically none of this stuck, and her popularity just continued to rise.
Of course, all good things have to come to an end. We have the official announcement here from Hololive that was posted after her brief live stream saying, we regret to announce that Gura Hololive English will be graduating on May 1st of 2025 JST. Since her debut as a member of Hololive English Myth 5 years ago, Gura has touched the hearts of fans around the world, become a beloved face for VTubing in its early stages, and played an instrumental role in the growth of Hololive production. To all the fans who have shown their unwavering love and support, we sincerely thank you. While we understand that this news may be difficult for many, we deeply respect and support Gura's decision as she begins her next chapter. We are endlessly grateful for Gura's remarkable contributions and wish her nothing but success and happiness on her journey forward.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Well, she's definitely dealt with a lot of things involving her anxiety and related things over the years. Part of the reason she's had as many breaks as she did, it's been a struggle to deal with the attention and the pressure that's been on her. I think that's very clear. So this is something, like I said, the writing's been on the walls for a very long time.
Well, I'm also going to say, like, the break she's had, I suspect there's something else, because leave us not forget, Hololive is primarily a Japanese company. Yes, Gura is part of the English division of this. Certainly, we understand this. But Hololive is a Japanese idol company, management company. And we are all quite familiar with how the Japanese idol business operates. They work their fucking talent to death. It's the whole work culture that we hear about in Japanese culture, that, idols and even like the regular salarymen and women, they get worked to fucking death. And there is not the same level of consideration for a person's mental and emotional health like in the West as there is in Japan. In Japan, it's basically, to the best, as near as I can tell, there is no consideration to mental and emotional health of people in Japan. With, people in business and people in the idol industry, it's just work, 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 make product so people can consume product and make the executives rich. And this is one reason why, like, I'll save this till after Rev's conclusion of the video here.
But of course,
thank you,
there's
Toshi.
something that a lot of people are looking at right now, and it's the specific mention she made of disagreements with management that we've heard from several Hololive VTubers who recently graduated as well.
This has been a very long time coming, but today I am here to announce that I will be graduating from Hololive on May 1st, 2025, JST. My reasons being disagreements with management and company direction.
So looking at that set of comments, and like I said, the previous and similar comments made by other major Hololive VTubers who have graduated, people are starting to speculate that maybe there's something going on here in the company.
Yeah.
However, if you look at the impact of the stock here, I'll just show
there we
from
go.
the past 5 days here, you can see the moment she announced her graduation, a 10% drop off in Cover Corp's stock. That's not too surprising.
That went off a cliff.
And people are kind of looking at this whole situation from a bird's eye view and saying, Gura announces graduation. She's audibly upset and crying. Reason for this is disagreements with Hololive management. What the hell's going on here? And you can see this tweet's got 77,000 likes.
Okay, can I just say, I will put, like, how many people already called this back when she was talking about having issues where she couldn't eat, or anytime she would eat, she'd be throwing up and needing to take breaks because she physically wasn't feeling well. A lot of people, I imagine, probably said, Hololive is working her to death. I will betcha that that was the first thing a lot of people said when she's talked about her medical health issues. The first thing that probably went through people's minds is they're working her to death. They're working her into sickness. And at that point, when that started to happen, it was literally a ticking clock until this happened. So I was like, I have not followed Gura. Okay, I honestly don't know overly much about Gura. But when it was just mentioned, I think it was in the other video, they was saying she talked about having stomach issues and not being keep anything down and not being able to eat. My brain instantly went to, yeah, they're working her to illness. They're working her until she is sick. And that is not sustainable by any stretch of the imagination. So now, this honestly shouldn't come as too much of a surprise to people that at least possess basic critical thinking skills. Honestly.
A lot of people are also asking these questions. Unfortunately, it's going to be very confusing. I have no answers for you, obviously, at this point. It's all speculation, and I think people should also understand that a lot of this stuff comes from what I would imagine is corpo speak about disagreements with Hololive management and the direction of the company. But one thing is definitely worth noting, and it's that Hololive recently went public. And typically, when a company goes public, you might have massive internal changes, especially with the direction of the company. But again, this is speculation, and she might be using corpo speak to make this kind of a neat and organized way of leaving the company without getting into specifics. Again,
well, okay. Most people are reading between the lines on this too. When someone says that it disagreements with management, they read between the lines and go, she's tired of getting treated like shit. It's a way for her to leave without basically publicly blasting Hololive. I imagine that if and when she goes individual, we might start hearing some dirt. Kind of like how, I'm pretty sure, I think, didn't Doki Bird, when she went back to her old private account, didn't she kind of dish somewhat on Niji Sanji and about what Niji Sanji was doing and how they were treating her when she was a part of the company? I thought, because I remember her talking something about with her manager and how she was like, oh yeah, I can actually do this now because I'm not under Niji Sanji. Yeah, she really opened, there's things that she won't be able to talk about, of course, because she's probably under an NDA of some sort. Doki is a different story. She got run out of Niji Sanji. But honestly, with Gura, if she was treated badly by Hololive, it might come out. This might, if she goes back to her old private account, it just might come out. And I'd be curious about that.
We will never know, but overall, a pretty crazy set of developments. And you can see the CEO of Cover Corp personally thanking her under the announcement tweet of her graduation, saying thank you.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, Rev. I also meant to say this. If there was no problems with Hololive working Gura to death, her goodbye message would not have been, I've had disagreements with management and I don't like the direction of the company. It would not have been that level. If she was leaving because, and Hololive was not the primary cause, she would have said something more far different, I've really enjoyed working for this company. They've been great to me. It's just, this is something I just can't do anymore, and I've got to graduate. She would have spoken more positively about Hololive in her graduation message, but she didn't. And critically thinking people can read between those lines and go, yeah, she's not exactly leaving talking very glowingly about Hololive, which means that there's a lot of shit going on behind the scenes that have probably fucked her up.
Personally thanking her under the announcement tweet of her graduation, saying, "Thank you, Gura-san, for all of your hard work in Hololive English. Because of you and other members of Hololive English, Hololive became so loved and popular in English-speaking countries. I'm so grateful for everything you've done. Thank you with all my heart."
Great,
And
Tornado.
obviously,
At least not
a
yet.
great relationship with the company. There had to be for all these years. But if things fall off, especially after going public, we don't really know. And if this is corpo speak that she used in her announcement, again, it's all speculation, but I think that's kind of where people should leave it at this point. But clearly, her leaving the company's had a significant impact already. I mean, they lost the bragging rights
Well,
to
that's
having
the question,
the
Jack.
biggest
That is the
VTuber
question.
in the world and being the ones that have Gura on their roster. It's a big hit, and obviously it's going to impact the stock as well. But where we go with Hololive here, anyone who thinks this is the end, I think they're being incredibly dramatic. But I think it's definitely fair to question where the direction of the company is going at this point after losing several big talents, including their biggest one, Gura. But at the end of the day, I think people are going to be sad about this news, but also they should be very appreciative of everything that she's given.
Okay,
the
Dawser,
VTubing
have a
scene
good night.
and really just content creation in general throughout her time with Hololive. And I have a very, very strong feeling based on her words of her upcoming things going on with her future that she's likely going to return to her Senzawa account or something new and try to keep going with content creation. I have a strong feeling about that. So again,
Yeah,
lots to be
I
thankful
hope
for,
she
and I'm
does.
glad they got
I
to
hope she
enjoy
does.
her content. I'm sure tons of you watching this video are grateful as well. But that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's unfortunate, but honestly, I think this actually may be the best thing for her. Because realistically, if she was doing poorly physically, this was the best way to go. And I think if she does like revive her old account, I think we're going to see a big net positive both in her popularity and I think for herself in her own physical and mental well-being. Because that's a key thing to note is that with all of these VTubers that graduate from their management companies and go indie, they always seem to be better off. That's kind of a running thing is when you're part of a VTuber management company, the minute that you go independent, you're better for it. I mean, that's kind of damning in terms of like the management companies. Now, I have heard that like VShojo and what was the other one, Face Connect. I have heard that that VShojo and Face Connect. I have not heard of any problems, and I do believe that they've been treating their their VTubers quite well. So that would be that's a little different. However, is VShojo and Face Connect are those like Japanese based companies or are they Western companies? Because this I don't know. I'm unaware if they are Western companies or Japan or Eastern companies. Like I want to say, okay, VShojo is US. I would have to assume Face Connect is also US and Canadian for Face. Okay, so that's a big thing. Is because with Western based VTuber companies, obviously the physical and mental health of their VTubers is paramount. They don't work under the same work ethic that Japanese do. Okay, so VTuber does both, but they have expanded into a Japanese branch. They're controlled by a Western company. So that's the difference. Whereas the Japanese-based companies, they work on the Japanese ethic. And yeah, with the Western companies, they have the Western labor laws that they have to contend with, and they also recognize that, okay, taking our talents' IPs for ourselves so they no longer get to have them tends to piss people off. Maybe we shouldn't do that. You know? So, who knows? Maybe Gura will link up with VShojo or Face Connect. Maybe she'll go independent. But I do think she's going to be better off regardless. I suspect she's probably going to at least start as independent. And yeah, if you're, as far as me, I'm never going to be joining. I am never going to be joining a VTuber management company. Mythic, Taisel, correct me if I'm wrong. I thought Mythic was a management company, but someone had said that Mythic is more of an advertising company for VTubers. They're not a management company, as I understand it. So Mythic is just like they kind of handle advertising for VTubers, but they don't actually manage the VTubers. But yeah, I'm not gonna be, I don't see myself joining any kind of management company if that ever even gets offered to me. Like God only knows if anybody would even offer me a management contract with, a Western VTube, management company. But I like my independence. I like being able to do whatever the fuck I want, and no one can tell me what I can or can't do outside of the rules of TOS on, like, Twitch. So, yeah, like, you guys know me well enough by now. I call my own shots. I make my own decisions. I am not gonna have some manager over my shoulder saying, you need to do this, or you need to do that. Fuck that. I'm my own boss. This is my fucking stream, and I call the shots with all of it. And that's how it's probably gonna stay. Because I don't do well with someone trying to tell me what to do. So, well, and Tyself, that's what I was thinking, like, Mythic is not a management company. I get the feeling like they're like a promotional or advertisement company for VTubers, not a management. But I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure about that, so good. Don't quote me, because I don't know. Like, when you got, like, I'm like my own little, I do my own little thing here. I have my own little stream, and I'm not aiming to get a management company. I'm not, like, trying to say, like, hey, VTuber management companies, come, pick me up. I'd be great for your company. Nah, none of that. I do this because I want to have fun. And, well, it's, kind of, sort of, quoting a job. Yes, I still do it for fun. It's fun. If I start getting with a management company and they start trying to tell me what to do, it stops being fun. So yeah, I don't think I'm ever gonna even go, if it's even offered to me, I don't think I'll ever do any kind of a management company. I'm just doing my own fucking thing. Yes. Because I'm an anime cat girl. Laws do not apply to me.